Hello lovely people, how are you all doing today? I hope you are well. I'm kind of carrying on from the last video. We've got another rain day. It's kind of on off, but it's grotty out there, and the forecast is for 2 more weeks of rain. When's this rain going to stop? The ground can't take anymore. Anyway, so the last time I saw you, it was my day off, my Sunday, yay! And I was doing and busy. And I'd started in the kitchen doing some bits and bobs. I'm going to carry on with that now. But for the rest of Sunday, I had my lunch, and then Sunday changed a bit. That's okay. Managed to get stuff done. I was trying to remember what I'd got done. There we go. That was my little list of... yes. So one of the things I did, I've been meaning to do it since I moved in. It was one of those jobs that it's like, oh, it's not a priority, or it's not top of the list, but it needed doing. Finally done it. I've created a proper accounts spreadsheet for the building. So not for me, I have my own accounts, but for the building, so that every time I'm paying for something that has to be a shared cost, and then they're paying me. So that's all documented now, and it's really important for me to do that because when I left London, that's something that my freeholder should have been doing, and he hadn't. That has to be provided. It's part of the buying and selling pack. Fortunately, in London, I was the accountant for the building, so I'd got it all. But yeah, it just means that if there's any questions in the future, it's all documented. And also I've set it up so that when payments come from the other parties, that's all the date is documented too, so that can link back to the bank account to show that money coming and going. It's a big old paper trail, but on the computer, as it were. So that's great. So like I said, if either of the other owners, if they ever want to sell, I can produce that documentation at the, well, not at the touch of a button because they don't have a printer, but I can go and get those. I can send the documents to the other party who wants to sell, and they can get it printed off. Great. Took me a little while. It's one of those things, you sort of, in setting up, I wanted to future-proof myself, so I wanted to think of all the different permutations and possibilities of how the accounts would be looked at and used. So I did a rough on paper to start with what columns do I need, what information do I need across the top, what information do I need down the side. It's worth taking that time, and I think I've set it up in a way that will work for all scenarios, I hope. So yeah, that took me quite a while. Also, I'll show you in a second, because on Sunday I'd been taking out the wall plugs and filling the holes above the cooker, I suddenly remembered, I came in later in the afternoon, walking in to the wall where I've got my shelves with my spices and oils and stuff. Above it, when I came to view the property, there'd been a spice rack hanging on the wall, and there were four points of hanging, so that was 4 more wall plugs to get out and fill. Today's going to be sanding and second fill. We'll come to that in a second. What else happened? This counts. Oh, of course, edited the video that I'd made that morning. So editing, rendering, uploading, that always takes about sort of 2 to 3 hours. So before I knew it, it was the evening, and it's time to say, you know, it's 8 o'clock, time to down tools and start relaxing. So I'm carrying on today. It is, you know, it should be a work day today, but you know, making a video is work. But I was up really early this morning to do a bunch of stuff, so it's coming up for 12 o'clock now. So it's sort of my lunch break time, so I'm going to carry on. We're going to go to the bedroom and do something, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing in the cooker area. Come on, let's get on. No time to waste. Keep moving, keep warm. So this was the other little area I did, and you can see I've done a similar scenario. I've just taped that with a bit of newspaper to catch any mess I made. But yeah, there were just 4 holes they're now raw plugs out and they've had their first fill. They need a tiny little bit more, just a tiny bit more, because they're quite deep holes. And then likewise over here, more filling. That's the first fill, as it were. But this one, there's a lot of material that's quite proud still. So before I do another fill, I've got myself set up to do some sanding. I've got some coarse, medium and fine sandpaper. I think I'm going to need the coarse, certainly to start with, and a sanding block. I highly recommend using a sanding block. I think it makes life easier. I have in the past when oh my goodness, how do I lose sanding blocks? I have lost a couple over the years, and I tried once with just a piece of wood, and it works if you're doing a very flat surface like a wall, but look, there I'm reflecting. But the thing about using the cork is there's just a tiny little bit of give in it. If you bump up into something, there's a bit of give, it's a bit forgiving. So that I will get on with in just a second. But there's also something I want to do in the bedroom with you. Okay, so this is the mould issue I wanted to talk about. So you can see it's built up in the corner, it's gone up there a little bit into the frame. Yeah, like I said, I've been using the dehumidifier. Obviously I get the wet off the windows in the morning with the vac, open the windows, use the dehumidifier, but even so, I'm still getting this build up. So I'm just going to be using bog standard white vinegar, giving it a bit of a spritz, and actually just, oh, I can't stand the smell of vinegar. But now, yuck, leave that for about 5 minutes. That will do its work to kill spores, etc. And then I'll come back in a few minutes and get it all wiped off. And it should do the trick beautifully for me. Right, that's had a few minutes to sit on there. Let's give it a bit of a scrudge. Poo. And what I'll do, because I really can't bear the smell, get the windows open. Ooh-wee. Some of this is just, it's not all mould, some of it is just grubbiness from over the years. But I think you can see, oh, can you see? It comes up great. That is a bit of an awkward space. I might have to get the toothbrush. Am I really going to bother with a toothbrush? Probably not. I think that's from a cable that's come in at some point, like a phone cable. So yeah, I think that's more dust that's collected in there than the mould. But yeah, it works a treat, and that should keep me good for a few weeks now. Need to do the entire frame. Yuck. And actually I need to do all the windows in the whole property, which will take ages. So I'll do that off camera, and in the meantime, let's get on with some sticky stuff. I rarely wear gloves when I'm cleaning because generally when I'm cleaning I just use water or mild soap, but using a glove to do the windows because of that smell of vinegar. I know you can add essential oil drops and all that, yes I know, but you know what, it just doesn't disguise it enough for me. Right, so remember I've got to put the sign up for the electrical cupboard, my glue dried out, my super glue, and I reckon it's possible I'd had that glue for over a year. So popped to the shops first thing, And yeah, £1.80. So yeah, I popped to Nixon's first thing and I was looking at all the glues and I thought they weren't cheap. Nothing seems cheap to me. But it was sort of like £4 or £5 for like really little things and going up in price. And I thought, I really don't use that much glue. Obviously I don't use that much glue because that glue's gone off. I haven't used it for a year or so. I wonder if there's something else I could use instead. And I've never seen these before, but I thought I'd give them a go. Glue dots. I just wrote on the packet, that's my writing, it's not from the shop. £1.80. And there are 64 dots, glue dots in here. So if I was doing one in each corner, how many would that put up? That would put up 16 items I could put up with this. Probably some of you have used these in crafting. So yeah, let's have a look, let's see how they do. So let's see if I can get an angle on it that will glint. I don't know if you can make them out. I can barely make them out. Right, I'm going to tear a strip of 4 of them off. I'm going to tip you down so you can see with me, and then we'll see how easy these things are to use. So here's my sign I want to put up. So you've got to get the backing off. Is this going to be one of those? Okay. So where's the dot? Okay, so the paper bit comes off and then the clear bit is going to stick on there. I presume, press it for a second. Keep hold of the plastic though, so you don't have to get your fingernail underneath it. Take that off. And now, can you see? Oh, there we go, get some light on it. That's where the little dot is sticking now. So yeah, easy to use. It's just the fiddle of getting the backings off. So paper off, put my dot on. Oh, I let go of the plastic. I don't know how much weight these things would hold. This is what I mean. I'm sure some of you probably use it in crafting, don't you? Maybe if you're doing paper crafting, if you're making cards, I don't know why I said it like that. So I don't know how much weight it will hold, but this is really quite light. And I did check on the packet. It says that it can be used. Let's just check. It says in terms of surfaces of what you're sticking to: paper, wood, plastic, metal, glass, and painted surfaces. Clean and easy to use. They are acid and lignin free. So the acid free, you want to know that if you're using them on paper. You need to be acid free when you're doing paper things. Okay, so, and then, stick, so, does it say how long to press it? So anyway, this is going out into the communal hallway. I won't take you out there with me. I'm going to pop it up, and that'll be good because then I can put the step ladders away until next weekend, my next day off, when I'm going to be tackling the fire safety stuff that I need to do. You know, I had all the filler and the foam. But yeah, let me go and see how this goes and I'll report back to you with my little sticky dots in each corner. There, you can sort of just see them almost glinting, can't you? Off we go. Wow, that was so quick and easy. Don't know who invented glue dots, but thank you. Well, it's Bostik, isn't it? They do blue tack. Yeah, really quick and easy. How long is it going to hold? Is it going to hold? It struck me as I've given it a firm press and held for a few seconds. It also struck me that it would be easy to, I think it's probably going to be easy to remove if I needed to. You know, if the fire safety inspector comes back in a year and says, oh, I don't like the position it's in, you need to have it on the other side. That's not going to happen, I don't think. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I've got something else to hang, to put up as well. I was mentioning I want to put this up as my new sign on my loo door. It's platform tickets for a penny. In the other video when I showed it to you, I said, oh, just a shilling. Of course it's a penny, not a shilling. I knew that as soon as I said it, never mind. So of course it's, you know, going and spending a penny, not for a platform ticket, for the bathroom. I don't know that they would hold it because it's metal. But in any case, I thought what I'd do today is just share a little hint tip about hanging and getting something centred, particularly if you're not good with numbers, because I know that for some people numbers are terrifying, and you know, I'm not laughing at you, I'm empathizing. You know, for me it's spelling. I really struggle to spell, despite the amount I read, despite the hours and hours and hours I've spent with words in my life. I still really struggle to spell. So I appreciate that for some people numbers are hideous, because I want to put this centrally. So how do I find the centre point? And especially how do I do that if I don't like numbers, or if numbers are just anathema to me? So whilst we're at the table, because we're going to go to the door in a second, I want to find the centre point of my picture. We'll just call it a picture for now, because this would be the same if you were hanging a picture. I'm finding the centre point of my picture. I'm going to find the centre point on the surface that I want to mount it to, and line those two centre points up. So I've got my pencil ready. So the obvious way to do it, let's tip you down again, hang on, let's put the glue dots. I'm half tempted to try the glue dots on this sign, although I think that would be wasting them, because I can't imagine them being strong enough to hold up metal. Right, let's get you down here again. And honestly, some people may think that this is really patronising, and I really don't mean it in a patronising way. I hope this is helpful for, like I said, folk who struggle with numbers. But in any case, you know, centre point. So I've got a dressmaker's tape measure, which is really handy. Let's see if I can bring you in a bit closer. It's really handy because it's flexible, unlike, say, a metal one. I've got my builder's tape measure that's metal. So, first things to do is, how wide is this sign? This sign is 8 centimetres wide. So I know off the top of my head that half of 8, so halfway, is 4. That's fine when the number is a simple number like 8. But what if it was 8.2 or 8.3? Let's do odd numbers. Odd numbers are harder to divide by 2. So, are we going fuzzy? We'll carry on anyway, because what I'm saying is the important bit. So if you've got your tape measure, it's a dressmaker's tape measure, simply fold it in half. It really is as simple as that. Fold it in half, and then that point now is the halfway point. Now what if you don't, just line up properly, what if you don't have a tape measure, or a dressmaker's tape measure? Do it with a piece of string. Literally, have your piece of string, get to this end, cut it, and then fold it in half, and it'll give you your midway point. So I've got that on that side now, and I'll do it on that side. What am I thinking about? And then we're going to do, that's why I'm doing it in pencil. This is actually, it's about, if we were doing it in millimetres, it's not 80, it's not 81, it's about 80.5. So, yeah, the reason I'm doing it in pencil is then, so where my mark is at the top there, then I can rub it out. I'm going to apply exactly the same principle now to the door where I want to hang it. You're at a very jaunty angle now, but just so long as you can see. So it's not going to, this isn't going to pick up on camera. There's kind of slight sort of beveling to the edges. So again, I'm going to measure across there. Oh, now this is the perfect example of the awkward measure. It's, what is that? 9.8 centimetres. So I want 4.9 as my midpoint, which is there. But like I said, if the maths isn't your thing, don't worry about maths, just fold the measure in half or using your piece of string. Now, what I should have done first is present the sign to roughly where I want it to go. I want it to go, I think, there. So I'm going to just drop it down a little bit because I'm going to go above the line eventually. Just going to make myself a little line there. Then with my spirit level, where is that line? There we go, bang on. I'm not doing the line all the way across. That line should be narrower than my, oh yes, just made it slightly narrower than this so it doesn't show. But that's giving me my level to start working from. And now I should have done this bit first. Now I'm going to do my centre line, but on that line. So I can mark up where I want to go. Once again, it's my 4.9. And now I can line up my centre line on here with centre line on the door. Just over. And these doors are weird, they're not real wood. They're like a sort of a composite and then stamped with grain. And the grain is slightly off. So the one I've got on the back side of this door, it looks wonky. It's not. You put a spirit level on it and it's perfectly straight. And it's one of those things, isn't it, of, I know that this is straight because I've just used the spirit level, but to my naked eye, it actually looks wonky because of the grain. So what do? Do I go with what my eye wants to see? Or do I stick with the spirit level? I'm going to stick with the spirit level. But now I can just give myself my little marks where I need to make my holes so I can get my screws in. Yay! It's as simple as that. A piece of string that you can fold in half. One piece of string for your picture, one piece of string for the door or the bit of the door frame. Get your spirit level out. Give yourself a straight line to work from. Find your centre point. Line your picture centre point and your door centre point up. That's it. It's as easy as that. Right, I better get on and get this blooming little sign up, hadn't I? Yay! Getting the little jobs done. Putting the pencil in the hair for use later on, and I'll forget it, and then I'll go to bed tonight and go, what's that? My pencil. Yay for another jobbed. Perfect. Sorry, I was looking there, not you, it's perfect. It's absolutely bang on. The thing is, I got the first one in, got it in fairly firmly, and then this top one, and then before I did the bottom right, just check again because there's a little bit of wiggle room, just a little bit of wiggle room, so that before I tightened that one up, I can check, yeah. And that's why you wear a hoodie on a day like today, so you can shove everything in your pockets. And then the last thing is, actually that will go further. I like to, because I'm a little bit OCD, line all my screw heads up. Is that OCD? Do you all do that too? I've still got a little ways to go in. There we go. And the very last job, I thought I had that in my hoodie too, is soft eraser. to rub out my marks. It's done! You're at a really weird angle. I can't see what you're seeing now, but there we go. If you want to spend a penny, you can do. Oh, that's so much better. I don't know what there was something protruding. Do you remember when I was taking the wall plugs out? I think some of them had been slightly bunged with paper, or even possibly a bit of dowel put into the hole to then put the wall plug, I don't know. But there was stuff that was really nastily proud, like all down the side. Yeah. Now, I wouldn't normally sand before I've done the second fill, but I don't want to be filling up to a level that's not actually the true level of the plaster. So yeah, I just wanted to have a go at knocking some of that protruding stuff off. Good. Now I can do my second fill. I won't be sanding it today. I'll let it go off really well, and then, well, I might do it tonight actually, because I want my kitchen back. Just give it all a sanding. Oh, I took the tape off a bit. It's probably sanding now behind the glass. Never mind. Don't care. Yeah. I'll see how it's gone off tonight. It's supposed to be what's it on the thing? Sandable. Surface dry 1 to 2 hours depending on conditions. That's surface dry, that's not sanding dry. I think with these things, I just leave it 24 hours. I'm going to get on with the second fill. I'll come back tomorrow. I won't show you, but I'll come back tomorrow and I'll give it all a sanding down. It shouldn't need too much, because when I'm doing that final fill, I think I've shown you this trick before. I think I showed it to you when I was in London, but I'll fill it as smoothly as possible anyway, and then I'll just clean my blade off in a bowl of warm water, get it nice and clean, and then give it one little pass over again, and that really reduces the amount of sanding that needs to be done. And sanding, let's face it, I mean, I like sanding, but it creates dust and muck, so the less sanding you have to do, the better, really, eh? All right, my lovelies, I think that'll do for today. I've got all sorts of bits and bobs to do for the bedroom, some measuring, I do 2 different lots of measuring, then I'm going to try out those hangers, get that picture cleaned up and get that frame nice and tight again, mend the angle poise. That can all wait for another video, another day. That might be Saturday. Maybe I can do all of that on Saturday, and then Sunday can be all about the fire safety stuff I need to do out in the communal area. Busy, busy, busy. Getting on. It's good. And you know what? It is good for me whilst I'm still waiting around for roofing contractors to get back to me, and waiting this horrible, horrible wait for my my Windows appeal, which, I mean, it could go on for months. So yeah, I'd rather get on with stuff in the meantime. And these are my days off, so while the weather is so grotty and I can't just go and spend the whole day on the beach with a book, which is my intention from May, June onwards, yeah, let's use the winter days off to do all this stuff. Woohoo! All right, lovelies, I'll see you again soon. You might be in the bedroom for all that stuff. We'll see. Anyway, until then, have fun getting your jobs done. And you know, these things can hang around for so long, can't they, and just nag at us. They're on our minds constantly. Oh, I need to get it done, Just get on with it. Make some time. Carve some time out and say, you know what, I'm actually going to make my home and all these little jobs, I'm going to make them the priority for once. And then once they're done, boy, oh boy, do you feel good. It's like, it's the cheapest drug in the world, isn't it? The high you get from getting rid of jobs that have been nagging you forever. So you know the jobs in your own homes, don't you? So take this as a little challenge from me today. See what you can get done over the next couple of weekends, and we'll reconvene and we'll find out what everyone's been up to. In the meantime, look after yourselves, everyone. For now, cheerio.